Now, the most reasonable talk show host from Sobchampy to the Redneck Riviera, here is Bob Kerrigan.
And good evening. Welcome to Within Reason. I'm on the airplane flying back from wherever I was, and I was unfortunate enough to have a nice gentleman sitting beside me who looked kind of like a typical Republican sort of business guy, and which isn't bad because a lot of my good friends are Republican business people and are good people, but he kind of looked like he was a very kind of dapper looking guy, and he had this book by Sean Hannity. It said "Let Freedom Ring." That's his thing he does on his radio show where he plays that song, "Let Freedom Ring." Kind of like the conservatives are the only ones that care about freedom. It's like they have some special kind of consideration for freedom that the whiny liberals don't have. And I looked at the book, and I noticed that the print was very large in the book. And I didn't see a lot of the sentences, but I think the best comparison that I could make would be something like, "See Jane run, Dick and Jane play ball, see Spot jump." I mean, that was the kind of sentences I saw that truly reminded me of a first grade reader. And of course, it appeals to prejudice and hatred of people that are different. I mean, the typical kind of right-wing Republican talk show stuff is dislike people that are different than you are. The fact is that, as I've said, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, these talk show people do have fairly large audiences, and I don't know how many of those people actually vote, but they do have fairly large audiences, radio audiences, and they've ruined McCain. They ruined McCain. I mean, they were relentless in their assault on John McCain during the entire primary. Would not stop, acted like they were going to leave the country or close down, or the country was going to go to hell, or well, it was just forecasting of doom and gloom if John McCain got the nomination. Well, when he did, they're in a box now. I mean, because they don't like Democrats because of the money that comes into the Republican Party. So we just, what are we going to do? So now, of course, it's all negativity about Obama. Nobody says John McCain will be a splendid president. Here's where McCain made just to say a critical mistake is just an understatement. By naming Sarah Palin to be the vice presidential candidate, and then claiming he puts country first, I don't think so. Here's my thinking. I said this, I think, earlier about the radio talk show people like Kennedy and Limbaugh. They're kind of a joke now. The air's out of their balloon. They demanded, insisted, went to all these 527 groups and said, you've got to run ads about Bill Ayers. And Obama was 8 when Ayers was involved in the stuff he was involved in. He served on a board with Ayers, and that organization was funded by a grant from the Ronald Reagan Foundation or something, a Republican group. I mean, it's just nonsense. But again, it is trying to unstabilize people. It's trying to scare people. We need to scare the American people. This has been very successful for the Republican leadership. Mitch McConnell, in Kentucky, he might lose. Ted Stevens has disgraced the Republican Party. Larry Craig, it goes on and on and on and on. Plus, it's not just the corruption and incompetence, and it's that the country is in a mess. It's in a mess because of their leadership. And so what are they hanging on with their little fingernails? Yeah, but for the last 2 years, the Democrats have controlled Congress. Bush could veto anything he doesn't like. What are they talking about? That's what he can do if they pass something that's nutty or that he doesn't like, he doesn't want. He can veto it. He's a lame duck for the last 2 years. He could have vetoed anything he wanted. So it's an absolutely fallacious argument that, the Democrats, oh my goodness, you had more Democrats than Republicans. So what? You had a Republican president. who despises the Democratic Party and despises the causes of the Democrats, which is our social concerns and, limiting the amount of money we flood to the military and other things. They're a reasonable position. Bush doesn't like any of them because they're contrary to Republican big business interests. So could he have vetoed it? Yeah, he could have vetoed it. So what's the argument? I don't get it. What's the argument that the Democrats have caused some problem? Foolish argument, a fallacious argument. I think the Republicans have to focus on, has our party collapsed? One of the Thomas Jefferson's greatest concerns, in fact, one of the three things on his tombstone was the act in Virginia, the of Religious Freedom Act or something like that. I've forgotten the exact name of it. But Thomas Jefferson's great fear were the preachers, okay? Not the religion, but it was the preachers. And the spokespersons who are supposedly there with the divine revelations and whatever. The wacko preachers have commandeered the Republican Party. All these extreme groups, these out on the edge groups, they've found a wonderful home in the Republican Party. They truly, deep down, secretly, they embrace kind of a racism thing. They're trying to make that dog run as hard as they can make it run. So what is the Republican Party now? Well, they're not fiscal conservatives. Forget that. What are you kidding me? The National Republican Party? They're not fiscal conservatives. They believe in spending all the money you can spend and putting the country in hopeless debt. They believe in unlimited spending for the military, just unlimited. Give them whatever they want, whatever half-baked weapons program they dream up, give them the money, no accountability for it. Is that the party? What kind of party is that? Well, the truth is, it's the party of big business. That's what the Republican Party is. They just jacked up these little myopic single-issue groups and told them, we'll champion your cause. I've said this before. They sit around a table smoking cigars, laughing, saying, can you believe it? Like, who in this room cares 1 minute about abortion? I mean, who does? I said, come on, we don't care about that. But all we have to do, because we got these people, these single-issue voters, all we have to do is say we're against abortion. Boom, we got them. All right, what about the guns? Let's give everybody an Uzi and AK-47. That's good. We get the gun. We'll get all the gun nuts. We'll get them, okay? So we'll get these little groups, which don't have anything to do with our principles, which our principles are getting all the money we can from the government for us and cutting our taxes, getting our taxes as low as possible, getting all the government benefits we can get. That is the central core of the Republican Party, period. That's it. Now, what's happened, and we're seeing it now, and we're going to see it in a lot of these senatorial races, and we're going to see it with the presidential election, people have wised up. It's like, no, you weren't the party of family values. What are you talking about? Look at all the stuff you've done. Look at all the politicians in the Republican Party that have fallen from grace. Family values? Are you kidding me? You just talked family values. You didn't have anything to do with family values. You didn't have anything to do with being devoutly religious and spiritually centered. No, it was all nonsense. It was all hype to get elected. I would say that we are, at this point, one of the most important elections, I think, in many years, because the country is in such disarray and we have seen such Republican incompetence and disaster, that if you buy the McCain argument that he's not really a Republican anymore, he's really a maverick, he really is opposed to most Republican principles, and you need to go with him so he can bring change to Washington, you'll buy a refrigerator in Alaska. This program is rebroadcast through the week on Mondays and on Fridays at 10 in the evening, and Friday morning, I think, at 10. And we thank you for your calls and emails and comments. Some of you are on and didn't get on tonight. I'm sorry about that. We hope you'll call back and join us again next week after the election, and we'll be talking about the new president on Within Reason. Good night.